सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयस्थितम् सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। So now we start with the fifth chapter, Buddhi Aparada Prakaranam, Buddhi Aparada Prakaranam. The aparada, the offense that the buddhi is carrying out, namely adhyasa, superimposition. So this is the buddhi aparada. I guess the whole life now, whole samsara starts with buddhi, aparada of the buddhi, the brahma, the delusion, the wrong notion that the buddhi entertains about its own self. Then the Tikakara says, introducing the fifth mantra, Yadi praguktaritya brahmatma jnanam amrutatvam gamayet. Yadi praguktaritya, if by the manner in which it was stated earlier, Brahmajnanam amrutatvam gamayet. Brahmajnanam gamayet brings us to amrutatvam, immortality. If Brahmajnanam, knowledge of Brahman, the means of immortality, moksha, ananda. Kimi tarhi sarvaihi aham brahmasmiti atmarupam na gruhyate. Then how come sarvaihi, by everybody, Brahma atmarupam na gruhyate? If knowledge of Brahma as Atma, Brahmatma jnanam, knowing Brahman as Atma, the self, if that knowledge is a means of amrutatvam, immortality, ambrosia, ananda, how come everybody does not seek this knowledge? Aham brahmasmi. How come everybody does not accept that as a goal of life, as something to be accomplished? Why not there are many who doesn't want this knowledge? Because we find most people not pursuing this knowledge. To gain the knowledge is one thing, to pursue the knowledge, to have value for the knowledge, that I want to know self as Brahman. Knowing that, that's what means Amrutatvam, immortality, ambrosia, ananda, that is what I want. How come most people do not want that? Nisargata eva sarvesham purushārthittvāt. Nisargata, by nature, sarvesham parampurushārtha arthittvāt. Everybody is an arthi, everybody is a seeker of paramapurushartha. Everybody seeks paramapurushartha, moksha, amritatam, immortality by nature. That everybody wants immortality. That is the desire behind all the desires. It's not that you create that desire of amrutatvam. What each one wants is amrutatvam, immortality. That is the Paramapurushartha, that is the most supreme Purushartha, the human end that one is seeking. One is born with a desire to seek immortality. That's what one wants. And still, Aham Brahmasmi is the means of that immortality. And when it is presented by Shruti that you are Brahman, people do not accept it. So there are those who do not accept the knowledge or this that I am Brahman for the fear. So this is a question and answer is given in the first verse there, Tatraha. Mutra Shankayati. Mutra Shanko Yatho Dankaha. Mutra Shanko Yatho Dankaha. Nagrahidamrutam Yatha. कर्मनाशभयात् जन्तोः आत्मज्ञानाग्रहस्तथा. Atrayam Akhyayika. There is this Akhyayika anecdote described in the Puranas. This event is described. Atrayam Akhyayika is Mutra Shankaha Yathodankaha. What is that? Yatha Udankaha. A person whose name was Udanka. Mutra Shankaha. He suspected urine. Na agrahid amrutam yatha. This person whose name was Udanka did not accept even though amrutam, ambrosia, was offered to him. He did not accept ambrosia thinking that is urine. Superimposing the idea of urineness upon ambrosia, he did not accept it. So the Akhyayika is briefly described here. Udanko nama kaschid rishihi. Some rishi whose name was Udanka. Bhagavantam Mahavishnu tapasa toshayitva. He satisfied, pleased Bhagavan Mahavishnu by tapasa, by austerity. The sage Udanka pleased Lord Vishnu by his penance or tapasya. Devarakshitam amrutatvam amrutam prarthitavan. Then when the Lord said, what can I give you, what do you want? Amrutam prarthitavan. He asked for ambrosia. Devarakshitam, but ambrosia was under the protection of devatas. Otherwise you would have got it. Nobody can get ambrosia because that part of ambrosia is protected by devatas. If you want that ambrosia, you have to fight with them or you win over them. Like Garuda did that, and things like that. So that's why he requested Mahavishnu, please, I want that ambrosia. Tada Bhagavata Devendram Pratyuktam. So Lord Mahavishnu told Devendra, meaning Indra, the Lord of the Devatas, Amrutam Asmai Diyatamiti. May you give the ambrosia to this person? When that is said, now Devendra cannot deny that, disobey that. Indrastu Vishnu Ajnam Palayan. Indra on the other on his side, on the other, Vishnu Ajnam Palayan, while following or obeying the Ajna, the command of Lord Vishnu. Amrita Kalasham Nitva, Indra brought the pot of ambrosia, which was, which was gotten from the ocean, milky ocean. Matanga Vesham Asthaya. He became a Chandala, Matanga. Matanga means aborigine, So, this Adivasi became one of the Adivasis. Like a Chandala, there's a Chandala, became a Chandala. Meaning very impure person. Indra took the guise of a person who is very impure and a sinner like, Chandala, untouchable. Swabastide Shetam Kalasham Upanidhaya. He brought that kalasha and held it like this. Udankaya Datum Arebhe. And he began giving that the ambrosia from that pot to Udanka. He held that pot in such a manner that Udanka thought that he is urinating. That's how the pot was held. Asuya ma bhavatu asya amrutapanamiti manyamanaha. Asuya means guneshu dosha darshanam. To see dosha, fault, where in fact there is guna or virtue, is called asuya. So what is here is ambrosia. To see it as something like urine, this is what Indra wanted. Asuyaya ma bhavatasya amrutapanam. That he will, even though ambrosia is offered to him for him to drink, but Indra wanted that he should not drink, and they have made an appearance as though this pot contains urine or he is urinating. Tadudankopi Chandala Shanga na jigrahayati. Sudanka thought that this pot contains urine of a Chandala and I don't want it. So what is ambrosia is thought to be urine by Udanka. That's the whole idea. That's called superimposition. And looking upon that as something contrary to what it is. Ambrosia is taken to be contrary to what it is, something very impure. And that is the reason why Udanka did not accept it. Even though it was offered to him, he did not accept it. So coming to the shloka, says Udanko mutra shankasanna. Mutra shanko yatho Udankaha, just as Udankaha, who suspected urine in that pot. Yatha bhutameva pratyakshopaladam amrutam na grahid. Yatha amrutam na agrahid. Just as he did not accept the ambrosia. Yatha bhutameva, it was in fact ambrosia. Pratyakshopaladam, right in front of him. That ambrosia was offered to him in his sight. Na grahid. Even then Udanka did not accept that. Why? Namat abhilashidam amrutam idamiti na grahitavan. This is not the ambrosia that I wanted. And therefore he did not accept that ambrosia even though it is openly and clearly offered to him. Jati nasha bhayadadi yojana. Udanka is a Brahmana. If I drink urine, then I will become a Chandala. Chandala urine, I will become Chandala. Jati nasha bhayadadi yojana. Those days you become polluted simply by eating somebody's food. So all these Portuguese and these people, to convert me, what they did is they used to put something in the community well, like alcohol or something like that, and then declare that everybody has drunk this, so you're all polluted. You're all Christians now. So this is the belief. That if you eat something or drink something that comes from these impure people, you also become impure. I don't want to become impure. I don't want to lose my brahmanatvam, jati nashavayaditi yojana. So this is the illustration. Yatha and tatha. Second line says, karmana samayad janto atma jnana agrahas tatha. Tatha in a manner similar to that. Atma jnana agraha. The drishtanta is amruta agraha. Udanka did not accept the ambrosia. Here, the ordinary person, ignorant person, atma jnana agraha. Atma jnanam, the self-knowledge, which is the means of immortality, the person does not accept. Why? Karmanasha bhaya jantoho. This jantu or the jivatma is concerned about karmanasha bhaya. That if I take this ambrosia, atma jnanam, then you akarta, then there will be no karma. In that case, all my karma will be gone. What will happen to me? So, person who sees security in karma doesn't want to give up karma. And Atma Jnanam means Akarta Atma, karma is given up. For Atma Jnana also you may have to give up karma. And he becomes, so what is karma, which is in fact the source of pain, karma and karma phala, karikarana, is thought to be source of security. Atma Jnana, which is source of all security, abhayam pradishtam vindate, is thought to be all source of sorrow or pain or insecurity. This is called the superimposition Brahma, the Viparita Buddhi, looking for one thing to be quite contrary to what it is, that Viparita Buddhi about ambrosia prevented Udanka from accepting that. So Viparita Buddhi about Atma Jnanam, the role of self-knowledge, prevents people from accepting self-knowledge or accepting self-knowledge as the very goal of life, so they don't receive it. तथा जंतोः लोकस्य वर्णाश्रमोपाधि भेद कर्मनाशभयाद आत्मज्ञानस्य यथोक्तस्य अग्रहः तस्मिन् अनादरः इति उत्तरार्ध योजना. So in fact, Atmagni is offered by the Upanishad. Brahmavid apnoti param, the very first statement says the knower of Brahman attains param, limitless, immortality. Atma vasu tardashogam atmavid, the knower of Atma crosses the grief, etc. Many statements are there. Atma vaeka idameva agrasit, etc. So Atma Jnana is offered. But yathoktasya agraha karmanasabhaya varnasramopadi, if this will make me a sannyasi, I will no more remain identified to a varna and the ashrama. To perform karma, you must have identity, which comes from varna, brahmana, kshatriya, etc., ashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, etc. But then, Atma Jnana means then no identification of upadhi. The whole idea of ahankara goes away. Identity goes away. No remain a brahmana, no remain a grihastha, and therefore no karma. Then what will happen to me? So that Atma Jnana, which is meant to give security, is looked upon as a source of insecurity. Therefore, even though the Shruti offers Atma Jnanam, people do not accept it. So says here, Padartha Swarupa Aparijnanam Vipirajnanam cha. In case of the ambrosia, Padartha Swarupa Aparijnanam, ignorance of the true nature of that Padartha, that entity which is ambrosia, Viparita Avaranam, Viparita Jnanam cha, and looking upon that as urine. So not knowing that entity as ambrosia, not only that, but then thinking that it is urine, quite contrary to that. Shruti Yukta Atma Swarupa Agraha Karanam. So therefore, not only I do not know the nature of myself as immortality, but I take myself to be a mortal being. And that's what I think I am. Then I base my life on that. And all of that will be completely, I'll be unstabilized. If I take myself immortal. So in short, the avarana vikshepa, the Atma Swarupa Jnanam, not knowing the true nature of Atma as immortal, Viparita Jnanam cha, and taking Atma to be mortal, ignorant, limited, dukhi, not taking Atma as sukhi, asti, bhati, priyam. Asti is looked upon as mortal, bhati is looked upon as ignorant, priyam is looked upon as dukhi. So that kind of conclusions on my part prevent. My life is based on those conclusions. That's the reality. Therefore, I have accepted karma as a means of my liberation. And now, if say that, hey, you are already liberated, you don't need to do anything, then I become insecure. And therefore, I do not accept that Atma Jnanam. So, Vipari Jnanam cha Shrutyukta Atma Swarupa Agrahana Karanam. So that is the karanam, cause for not accepting the Atma Jnanam offered by the Shruti. Drishtante Devendrasya Veshanyatvam vid. All right, now we don't see compatibility between the illustration and illustrated, Drishtanta and Darshtanta. There must be compatibility. The illustration was an apt illustration which makes the point that you want to make. In the Darshtanta illustrated. So here the Drishtanta does not seem to be an apt Drishtanta is what the argument is. Nanu Drishtante Devendrasya Veshanyatvam. In Drishtanta illustration, Devendra Indra in fact changes guise and appeared as a Chandala, an untouchable. Amruta Kalasasya Mutrasya Sthana Niveshanam. And also the pot of ambrosia was placed at the bladder which is Mutrasya Sthanam. This was deliberately done by Indra. Jatyantara Mutra Brahmotpadanena Amruta Agraha Karanamasid. When it comes to the example of this Udanka, Udanga is all justification for the misconception that he had. Udanka had the misconception that pot contains urine, or is likely to contain urine, may contain urine. Because Indra appeared before him in the guise of a Chandala, and held the pot in the place of urination. So therefore, this kind of misconception can be, it's understandable that this misconception was created in the mind of sage Udanga. न तथा आत्मनः ब्रह्मभूतस्य ब्रह्म कारणमस्ति इति. Atma is Brahma, and so we don't see any reason why Atma, that is Brahman, is taken to be other than Brahman. Atma is Brahman, immortal, is taken as mortal. Atma is Jnana Swarupam, is taken as ignorant. Atma is Ananda Swarupam, taken as Dukhi. So about ambrosia, just as one entertained that this is urine, which is most purifying, is said to be very impure. So Atma is taken to be quite contrary, but the illustration doesn't apply here. Nobody has changed the guise, doesn't come in a different dress, this is different guise, or makes an appearance that this is different from the ambrosia. So anyway, now the applying the illustration, how does that illustration apply in our life? So the Iti aha buddhistha iti, second verse says, buddhistas chalati vatma dhyayati vacha drishyate no gatasya yatha vrikshaha tadva samsara vibhramaha. Buddhistha atma chalati eva drishyate dhyayati eva cha drishyate. Buddhistha atma. Atma that is located in buddhi, as though. Atma that is located in buddhi explains. So, chalati eva, when buddhi is moving, restless, Atma appears to be restless. Dhyayati, when buddhi is concentrated, quiet, Atma appears quiet. So thus, the inability to distinguish between buddhi and Atma. Unfortunately, Atma appears where the buddhi is. Not that Atma is where the buddhi is. Or buddhi is where the Atma is. Buddhi is not where the Atma is. Buddhi is mithya, Atma is satyam, the buddhi cannot be in the same place as Atma. But just as in a crystal, which is colorless, pure, transparent, how the upadhi of a color of cloth makes an appearance of a colored crystal. So crystal that is in this cloth, you can say. The crystal that carries the color of the cloth. The cloth superimposes its nature upon the crystal, that's called upadhi. And therefore, crystal appears to be green rather than transparent. That's what upadhi does. Similarly, Atma appears to be in the buddhi, buddhistha. So, therefore, if the cloth is green, crystal appears green, cloth is red, crystal appears as red. So, Atma reflected in buddhi. The color reflected in the crystal creates appearance in crystal. Then when the upadhi is green and crystal appears green, upadhi is red, crystal appears as red. So upadhi means buddhi. Chalati. So, just as the crystal remains transparent and pure, but appears to be green or red to the onlooker who cannot discriminate between the color which is upadhi belonging elsewhere and crystal. So Atma is as though in the buddhi, identified with the buddhi, and therefore appears to be carrying the attributes of buddhi. Crystal is a pure, transparent medium, therefore it will reflect anything that is, in the proximity. So also buddhi is in the proximity. Atma is transparent, attributeless, and therefore Atma, buddhi gets as though reflected in Atma. Like the cloth gets reflected in the crystal. And crystal appears to be colored, so buddhi also appears to be colored. Atma appears to be colored. If buddhi is restless, Atma appears restless. Buddhi is steady, Atma appears to be steady. So one thing can appear to be quite contrary to what it is. That's the idea here. And different example is given. No gatasya yatha vrikshaha tadvat samsara vibramaha. No gatasya, just as for the one who is in a boat, vrikshaha, how the trees, etc., appear to be moving the opposite direction. If the boat is moving from north to south, the trees on the bank appear to be moving from south to north. Tadvat samsara vibramaha. Not that the trees are moving. But the movement of the boat is superimposed upon the trees. And trees that are stationary are thought to be traveling. And because boat that is traveling is not known to be traveling. And therefore the traveling of the boat is superimposed upon the trees, and trees are taken to be traveling, moving in the opposite direction. So this is not unusual. Or taking something as contrary to what it is not unusual, as in the case of the vriksha, the trees, for a man who is riding in a boat. So says the Tika, Anadya vidya swatmani adhyastha buddho linga sharire. This anadya vidya, because of that, there is avaran, vikshepa, swatma, buddhi stands for linga sharira, the subtle body. Call it buddhi or subtle body. Because buddhi is the predominant element in subtle body anyway. Therefore you can call it buddhi as subtle body is buddhi, or what is meant by buddhi is subtle body. Swatmani adhyastha buddhau swatmani adhyastha linga sharire. So linga sharira appears to be reflected in Atma. And therefore they are taken to be one. That's called adhyasa. For the green color appearing in crystal is one thing, and thinking that crystal is green is another thing. There is no superimposition. The appearance of a color in crystal is something natural. And so this is swabhavik brahma. But then to think that crystal is colored is born of aviveka, born of ignorance. And therefore here also, so this is the situation. That Atma being transparent, colorless, attributeless, automatically reflects the buddhi or subtle body which is in proximity. And subtle body has gross body in proximity. So sequentially the subtle body, the gross body, all the objects of this, all of these get reflected in Atma. So if you do not have that viveka, discrimination, separating, we think that all of these belong to Atma. So ling sharire abhimanitvena. Therefore there is the identification, linga sharira, linga shariroham. I am buddhi, that is ahankara. Sthitah atma, so atma is sthitah, meaning appearing in the buddhi. Buddhi appearing in Atma, really, that's what is meant here. So you say Atma is in the buddhi, or buddhi is in Atma. So it is nature of buddhi to reflect, that also you can say. Buddhi is svacha dravyam. And the nature of svacha dravyam or transparent medium to reflect any lighted object. So water is there. It is nature of water to reflect sun or any lighted object. Similarly, nature of buddhi to reflect Atma. So Atma, just as sun appears to be in water, and the reflection is controlled by the nature of water. Reflection appears small and restless and dull. So Atma as though gets reflected in buddhi, because buddhi is like the reflecting medium. And so Atma seems to be in the buddhi, influenced by the nature of buddhi. So you can say buddhistha. That way, Atma is the buddhi, means reflected in the buddhi. Abhimanitvena sthitah. And therefore, that sun thinks that this is what I am. Sun takes himself to be the reflection. So Atma takes himself to be a reflection in the buddhi. And therefore the reflection is controlled by the nature of buddhi. Tasyam buddhau chalantyam. Just as the water, when it moves, the reflection also appears to be moving. The water is steady, reflection appears to be steady. Buddhau chalantyam. So when the buddhi is unsteady, chalati eva dushyate, Atma also appears to be unsteady. Yato nischarati manas chanchalam asthiram. So chanchalata, asthirata is in manah, mind. But person thinks that I am asthira, I am chanchala, I am restless. No vastutah chalati. So chalati iva. The verse says buddhistah chalati iva atma. Chalati iva dushyate na vastutah chalati. In fact, Atma does not move, does not shake, but looks like it's shaking. Avikriyatva, because Atma cannot undergo any vaikara or change. That is the nature of Atma. The sun is steady. Steadiness is the nature of sun. Therefore, sun cannot move about. Sun cannot be restless and still appears to be restless. Atma is avikriya. Therefore, there cannot be chalana, movement in Atma, but Atma appears to be moving when the buddhi moves. Dhyayativa tatha tasyam dhyayantyam nischali bhutaya dhyayativa nischala dushyate pratibhasate. Similarly also, when the reflecting buddhi becomes steady, when he is focused, concentrating, meditating, becomes steady, then Atma also, I am also steady. I am restless, I say. I am concentrated, I am steady. Nischala drishyate pratibhasate na vastutah dhyayate. Not that Atma is really meditating or Atma is restless. They are all nature of buddhi. So how come Atma is not meditating? Why can't you say Atma is single-pointed, concentrated? Why not? Chalana abhave tat pratiyogikasya nishalyasya abhi abhavat. Nischalata. Chalatvam, nischalatvam. Chalatvam, movement, restlessness. Nischalatvam, steadiness. Understand that steadiness is in relation to restlessness. The idea of steadiness is in relation to restlessness. If restlessness is not in Atma, steadiness also cannot be said in Atma. Who can be steady? One who can be restless can be called steady. Stha gati nivrittau. You say standing. When do you say standing? When that fellow is walking, moving. So, otherwise you can't say parvataha, mountains are standing, because there is no gati in them. You may say mountains are standing, but really you can't use the word standing in the primary sense. Because stha gati nivrittau. When there is a cessation of movement, that is called standing. So standing is in relation counterpart of movement. The standing is said to be for the one which is moving. So steady can be said to one who is restless. Atma is neither restless, therefore nor steady also. विकार बुद्धि अविवेकाद आदवेव संसारेऽहमिति अस्मीति विपरीत निश्चय दोषाद. But when did this happen? That I am restless, I am steady, I am dukhi, I am sukhi. You see, sukhi is the counterpart of dukhi. I am ignorant, I am wise, I am dukhi, I am sukhi, I am restless, I am steady. These statements can be made only when there is vikara or change in Atma. But this is going on from where? Adu eva. Right from the beginning. Vikara vat buddhi avivekat. Vikara vat buddhi, the buddhi which is vikara vat, of which the nature is to change or modify. So, to get modified, change, transform in the nature of buddhi is restless, changing. Avivekat, and Atma is quite opposite to that. Avivekat, not being to discriminate between the two because they appear in one place. The thing is that the reflection of the sun and the water appear in one place. That way it becomes difficult for us to know that restlessness belongs to water and not belong to the reflection. So from the beginning, sun has concluded that I am restless, I am dull, I am small. Vikaravat buddhi avivekat. All vikaras, all modifications, changes are all in buddhi. Atma is ever changeless, but avivekat, on account of inability to discriminate between the time, from the time beginningless. Adu eva samsaryahmati asmiti viparita nischaya doshat. So one is born with this notion that I am samsari. How come you have this notion? Because I had it in last birth. So I was just inherited it, carried it forward. How do you get last birth? From a previous birth. So when did you have that notion first? There is no first. Adu meaning that this is beginningless. Ignorance is beginningless. So this notion also is beginningless. Iti viparita nischaya doshat. On account of this dosha or the fault of viparita nischaya. So not lack of nischaya, on account of wrong nischaya, wrong notion about one's own self. Shrutyadivi iryamanavi atmana brahmatvam na grunati lokaha. So he does not give up this notion. I am a samsari. Even though the Shrutyadivi, Shruti, Smruti, Purana, all these scriptures are telling us you are Brahman. Iryamanavi. Again and again the Shruti proclaims that you are Atma, you are Brahman, you are Tattvamasi, you are limitless. Atmana Brahmatvam na grunnati. Say a person does not give up his conclusion, wrong conclusion, and therefore, even though Shruti tells him this is not, I don't accept it, I don't believe in that. Just as even though ambrosia was offered to Udanka, he did not accept it because he thought it was something it was doing. So Shruti says, you are Brahman, I think that is going to destroy me. Because the self will not remain. This is the Brahman will remain, I will not remain. All kinds of problems are there. People, the dualists, all they believe that this is why आपका ब्रह्म तो कैसा है, आपका नाश हो जाएगा, ब्रह्म के साथ तो शादी होगी तो जीव का नाश हो जाएगा, जीव तो बचेगा नहीं, ऐसा कैसा? ब्रह्म के साथ शादी नहीं होनी चाहिए. शादी कई बार कहता है, sometimes they say, this is astrologer, if you get married then you will die. Whoever gets married to this person will die. Sometimes they say that. So Brahman is like that. If you get married, gone. I don't want to get married with Brahman. I don't want to bliss out and then I disappear. Whatever. Atmana brahmatva na grunnati loka is abhipraya. On account of this firm conclusion, which is notion or which is a delusion, people do not accept that you are Brahman. We don't accept it. Avivekad anyatha pratipatto drushtantamaha. Another drushtanta. Aviveka. So that was also how Udanka did not accept. Then because of Aviveka, for Aviveka, superimposing what belongs to one place upon another. So in the Udanka Drishtanta, Aviveka was not, the false notion was described. How what is pure and exhilarating and is taken to be impure and quite contrary, this one thing. But how did that happen? For that another example is given. That's Aviveka, superimposing what belongs to one upon something else. Now, so Udanka example does not clarify the superimposition part. It only states the wrong conclusion that this is urine where it was ambrosia. So how come this wrong conclusion is born? In case of Indra etc. was all right, but in our life, how come this wrong conclusion is born? Aviveka, superimposition. That superimposition is not clear in case of Udanka. The wrong notion is clear. In our life also, therefore the wrong notion is there, jivat, jivoham. But how does that wrong notion arise by aviveka? Because of aviveka. So for explaining aviveka, another example is given. For explaining Brahma, Udanka example is given. Why Brahma arises? That the reason is aviveka. For that, another example is given. Avivekad anyatha pratipatto drushtantamaha. On account of aviveka, non-discrimination, superimposition, anyatha pratipatto, taking thing to be other than what it is. Illustration is Nau gatasya. So second line said Nau gatasya yatha vriksha tadva samsara vibhramaha. So just as Nau gatasya, one who naustasya, so one naustha, nau gata, one who is moving in a boat. Vrikshaha, how the vriksha, the trees appear to be traveling or moving, running in a different opposite direction. Those days trains were not there. So in the train we were always seeing all the poles, go in opposite direction. The children enjoy those kind of things, So you watch. So anyway, so tadva samsara vibhrama. Similarly also, the samsara vibhrama is like of that nature. Uktameva prapanchayati, that example of the boat and the trees is further explained in the third verse. Naustasya pratilomyena naganam gamanam yatha atmanas samsrutis tadvata dhyayati veti hi shrutihi. Naustasya, one who is naustha, one who is in the boat, in the nauka. Pratilomyene yatha naganam gamanam. How for him? Naga. Nagachanti the naga, the trees. How? Pratilomyene gamanam. How trees are moving in the opposite direction. Anuloma and pratiloma. So, naustasya navisthidasya, the one who is situated, located in the nau or in the boat. The irregular forms are there, So, navisthidasya. Jalastham chalantyam janasya, the person who is moving in the water because he is riding a boat. Therefore, man is moving. Yatha Naugati digvaiparitena jalashayatirasthanam naganam. Vaksha, naga also can mean mountain, by the way. Hills also can be naga. So there can be hills also on the bank, there can be trees also. So So, no gati digviparityena. The boat is going in one direction and the trees or hills are going in the opposite direction. Nagana, vrikshadina, that's vrikshadi, vriksha, etc. Anyway, so whatever is there on the bank is also motionless anyway. If there is a house also, it's all called naga because it's motionless. So gamanam vibhavyate, they seem to be going in the opposite direction. Upadhi avivekad, because upadhi, the now becomes upadhi. Board becomes upadhi which is moving, and the movement of the boat is superimposed upon the trees and trees are thought to be moving, so that's aviveka. Non-discrimination about where the motion belongs. Motion that belongs in one place is superimposed upon the other. For us the example is one of the sun and the earth. So, whereas the earth that is travelling around the sun is thought that sun is rotating around the earth, same thing. How the movement of the earth is superimposed upon the sun. Tadvat samsarina api atmana samsruti anubhuvate ityartha. So all this samsruti means the movement and sukha dukkha, being born. So the cycle of birth and death, all of this belongs to subtle body, upadhi, and they superimposed upon atma, and atma is thought to be born and dying. Or all the changes, the modifications, the distortions that take place in the buddhi are thought to be that of atma. Atma is thought to be changing. The changing itself is samsara. Because you want to be changeless. You find yourself changing. So there is a constant struggle to become changeless. Now changing, you are trying to make buddhi changeless, So what is changing? I am trying to transform into changeless. This is what we are doing in our life. Our desire to be changeless is genuine desire. But then Prakriti, whose nature is to change, we are trying to make that Prakriti changeless by controlling it, by making it steady and things like that. So that's what we are trying to do. Immortality is understandable. But mortal is nature of Prakriti, we want to make it immortal. And so Purnata is understandable. What is the Purna by nature we are trying to do? So this is what is happening in life. Because of superimposition, we are trying to do something which is impossible to do. At the level of body, the person wants to become immortal. He wants to extend the body existence. Ego, he wants to be powerful and he wants to make ego powerful. Buddhi, he wants to know everything, etc. So, impossible things. It's one thing to learn more and more, is all right. It's one thing to do long, nothing wrong in that. But thinking that I want immortality, therefore I want to stretch the existence of body. Now that is something that can't be achieved. So samanasan ubhava loko anusancharati dhyayativa lelayati shruyate ityartha. So this is what is stated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 437. Dhyayativa, so the whole sentence is sa samanasan ubhava loko anusancharati. Samanasan, becoming samana, becoming similar to, becoming identified with buddhi. Atma becomes like buddhi. Meaning Atma becomes identified with buddhi or antahkaranam, subtle body. Ubhau loko anusancharati. Buddhi or the mind, when it is waking, Atma is waking. When mind is sleeping, Atma is sleeping. Ubhau loko. It is nature of the buddhi or subtle body to travel from one world to the other, from the world of waking to the world of sleep, which is all right, that is nature. But he thinks that I am awake, I am sleeping, I was sleeping. So similarly, dhyayati, when buddhi is meditating, he thinks I am meditating, lelayati. So atyantam lelayati, atyantam chalati. When the buddhi is restless, I am restless. Iti shruyate. So this is what the Shruti says. So this statement of Shruti, now you don't find many statements where this kind of superimposition is described. How what belongs to one place is thought to be obtaining another place, for that this is a statement. It says, Samanasan, Ubhau loko anusancharati, he becomes like buddhi. That's what it says, which we should understand, identify as he becomes like buddhi. Ubhau loko anusancharati, the buddhi moves, travels from one loka, the waking to sleep and sleep to waking, and this one becomes like buddhi, equal to buddhi, and thinks that I am awake, I am sleeping, I am meditating, I am restless. So this is a clear example of conclusion about myself. Dhyayami, that I am meditating. Chanchaloham, I am restless. This conclusion about myself comes from superimposing the buddhi, the attributes of buddhi upon the self. So the example of superimposition, of superimposing the attributes one upon the other, is very clearly here. There are not many places that you find in Shruti. Vedanta has this prakriya called adhyasa. It's a prakriya, superimposition. So you have some pramanam for that. Is it there anywhere in Shastra? Here is the Shastra. And so that is how at least you have to find some source. Even if it's not there, we have to accept it because that's what is happening. But anyway, even the Upanishad also clearly says, Samanasan, Ubho loko sancharati, dhyayati eva, lelayati eva, is a clear description of superimposing the attributes of one upon the other and thus drawing the conclusion. Wrong conclusion about oneself, about Atma. Atma dhyayati, Atma lelayati. Whereas everybody knows that it's buddhi dhyayati lelayati. So that is why this example is stated here of what kind of things are happening in our life. Okay, we'll continue. So, buddhesh, here it is. Buddhe, no, Atmana samsritadvad dhyayati veda hishruti. Okay, so that we saw. Alright. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.